Great to have everyone here. Great to have Dr. Pai and Aditya here, actually. I thought it's kind of a good opportunity to present a couple of ideas I've been working on right now. Today will be the first video which we'll be making together is going to be a topic on unique understanding of yogas, actually. So let's get into those slides quickly, actually.
Sandeep, I will point. You have picked a very interesting date where Jupiter and Venus are very close to each other.
Oh,
So,
that's
Jupiter, money.
yeah,
And
great.
Venus is also money,
Yeah,
So,
Venus is
both,
also definitely Venus is also a planet of yogas, in my opinion. If someone who's having strong Venus is more likely to master yogas in Jyotisha, for instance. So because union of Grahas, right? So it's a great point.
did you
So
know that? That's why you picked today?
oh, yeah,
Or
I
it was
know.
random?
Just happened randomly. So interesting as well.
Also very interesting that you're talking about Venus and Jupiter and even talking about yogas. Also remember, naturally, there is a yoga which is created by Venus and Jupiter because the weekday after Thursday falls Friday. So that is the junction point between a Thursday and a Friday is like a yoga
Yeah,
between
interesting.
Jupiter and Venus.
Yeah, that's fascinating idea, Dr. Pai. Yeah, great. Yeah, so great. So let's see. So I'm sharing my screen. My slide should be visible right now. Let's see. Okay, great. So today I wanted to mention about unique understanding of yogas, actually. So I'll be talking on that. The presentation is very simple, to be frank. First, we just have a brief introduction. We'll have a simple understanding of yogas. I'll demonstrate two simple Dhan Yoga and Gajakesari Yoga, very commonly used yogas, actually. Then I'll try to get into the crux of the idea which I want to present, which is the understanding karma types and remedies, and then finally applying how we can apply all these yogas in our lives, and then finally a concluding thought kind of thing. Fine. So yogas are heavily used in Jyotisha for prediction, actually. So it's one of those common items which any Jyotishi should be familiar with. They should be able to identify any kind of yogas that is there in a chart kind of thing and so forth. It's a fairly normal thing. It's considered to be a very important aspect also. Yogas can help in identifying the nature of energies activated during a particular dasha. So that's also pretty normal. In fact, if the Mahadasha planet and the Antardasha planet, if they are involved in any yoga, then those yogas will be activated during that dasha kal also. So that is also one more thing just to be mindful about. So many people will ask why I have Gajakesari Yoga in my chart, I have Dhan Yogas in my chart, why is not getting activated? Are you running the Dashakal of those Grahas involved in that yoga? Most of the time, that's not. So those will be activated when those Grahas are involved in the yoga or the Dasha is also running, then it becomes very strong. But here today I want to present one more new idea on the yogas also. Let's see. So in general, union of Grahas result in yogas. So some kind of union should be happening. Either you have a Buddhaditya Yoga, Sun Mercury union. If that is there and Mercury is prominent and all that, then definitely the person is very smart and so forth and all that. So all kinds of yogas require union between grahas, actually. That is a foundational idea in yoga, actually. And of course, the conditions could be different depending upon there are thousands of yogas, so thousands of conditions exist for defining any kind of yogas, actually. So it can be a union between the fifth lord and the ninth lord, which is forming a greater yoga of wealth and all that. So multiple yogas exist, actually. So, but the foundation idea is that it's a union of graha. Of course, here I just thought it'll be funny because I came across this particular join the planetary union kind of thing going on. Funny that today we are actually on Jupiter Venus kind of thing. Yoga, a union also happening in the sky as we're talking. So interesting about that. Now, Dhan Yoga is one of the common yogas that is usually utilized in Jyotisha, actually. Dhan Yoga is, of course, Dhan is wealth. Dhan Yoga is a wealth creating yoga. So if you are told anyone has Dhan Yoga in their chart, this is the condition that has to be fulfilled. So any link between the 159 houses and the 211 houses or the house lord. So any link between the first, fifth, and ninth house, second house, and the 11th house, especially through the house lords, can actually create a Dhan Yoga. So the links can be by position, aspect, conjunction, or exchange. So you could have your first lord in the second house, or the fifth lord could be aspecting your 11th house, or ninth lord could be conjunct to your second house kind of thing. Or even exchange between any of these two categories of houses can lead to like a Dhan Yoga in your chart. So it is a very simple yoga, actually, very common yoga utilized to predict a time period of um, wealth and promotion and gains in income and all that. So it's a big yoga also. So very important yoga also in that particular way.
So you're saying even 1 to 5, 5 to 9, 9 to 1, 5, 9 to 5, that
Yeah.
also is okay. It's
All
not
the
1, 5, 9 and 2, 11 separately, right?
Yes, even that is also fine. 159 between each other also creates wealth without doubt. And even 211 interaction between both is also Dhan Yoga without a doubt. So these two categories, of course, it becomes a stronger Dhan Yoga when the one of the categories is linking with the other category houses. So fifth house with 11th house strong Dhan Yoga without a doubt. But 159 between it themselves also is a creating Dhan Yoga without a doubt. Second 11 also within themselves also creating Dhan Yoga. So in
Thank
fact,
you.
yeah, that's a good point. Because second 11, I want to highlight that in Nadia astrology, they famously say Shani Venus is a big Dhan Yoga. Shani Venus conjunction is big Dhan Yoga because Venus is the natural second house of the zodiac, second house lord, and Shani is the natural 11th house lord of the zodiac. So that's a 211 yoga. So that's a Shani Venus yoga. So they say it's a huge wealth yoga in Nadia astrology because of that. So it's a 100%. The individual categories, houses, when they interact themselves also create wealth. Similarly, but when these two category houses, the Lakshmi Sthanas, which is 159, and the second and 11th houses, when they interact, also creates wealth. Now, we'll just go on each of these houses just to understand some of these other concepts actually. So, for instance, second house is usually linked with wealth. It is the Dhana Bhava, without a doubt. So, second house of the natural zodiac is Taurus. Now, so most of the time when you look at any yoga, the components of the yoga, if you try to understand it, you can understand the energies involved in that yoga. So that's a very important point. How is the energy coming? What is the nature of the wealth that is coming? How is the wealth coming? All that kind of thing you can understand. So we'll try to understand it here actually. And then yoga is usually second house of wealth. A very important house category, which I mentioned is second house. So second house of natural zodiac is Taurus. It is ruled by Venus or Shukra. Moon exalts in Taurus in Kritika Nakshatra, and Rahu also exalts in Taurus in Rohini Nakshatra. So that's interesting to think about. So why is second house important? Moon exalts here. Rahu potentially exalts here also. So definitely it is capable of giving wealth without a doubt. So second house being included in this yoga makes perfect sense. Now 11th house of gains is the next house or the Labha Bhava as it's called, which is involved in the yoga. So 11th house of the natural zodiac is Aquarius. It is ruled by both Shani and Rahu. Shani's Mool Trikona is falling in Satabhisha Nakshatra. The 5 to 20 degrees of Aquarius is basically Shani's Mool Trikona actually. So definitely it's very interesting. So definitely 11th house of gains is ruled by Shani. So the more hard work you put in, the more experience you have, definitely that will contribute towards your wealth. Shani is the unseen work as it's called. Shani is the disciplined work also, which has to be maintained. Definitely, if you have to make gains, you have to have a sense of discipline. You definitely have to 11th house the network circle. Quite often they say you are as rich as the five friends around you kind of thing going on. So that kind of themes and all that becomes very important here also. Then the Lakshmi Sthana categories are 159 houses. The first house being Tanu Bhava, which is your body and all that. And fifth house is Putra Bhava, your child, your children. Dharma Bhava is the ninth house, which is your purpose, your spirituality, guru, all that. So all that is also important. So in the natural zodiac, the first house is falling in Aries, which is ruled by Mars. Interesting thing to note here is the sun is exalting here in the first house of Aries. Fifth house is falling in Leo, which is sun. Again, sun is Multrakoon is here. And ninth house is falling in Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter again. And Jupiter's Multrakoon is also there in Sagittarius. Now, of course, a takeaway here should be that just like how we talked about Venus Shani linkage can be creating wealth, Sun Mars linkage based on this logic can also give you wealth. Mars Jupiter Guru Mangal Yoga can also give you wealth. Sun Jupiter combination is also capable of giving you wealth because it's the Naisargic Kundli, Karkas of the fifth house and ninth house and so forth. And very interesting also to note that in the natural zodiac, first house is actually having sun exaltation and so forth. So that is also something interesting in that regard. Anyway, so that is one yoga actually, which I thought was interesting. So Dhan Yoga example for Aries, isn't it? So here you have Sun, the fifth lord of the Lakshmi Bhava, Bhavadipati Sun, in the second lord, second house actually, in the Dhan Yoga Bhava, in Dhan Bhava actually. Fifth lord in the second house for Aries, then naturally will create wealth. That's Dhan Yoga by definition. And the other combination for Dhan Yoga is when your fifth lord Sun is actually in the 11th house. And Surya is in the 11th house. Now it's a fifth lord in the 11th house combination that is capable of creating wealth. Another combination here is that when you have Shani in the ninth house, Shani is the 11th lord for Aries ascendant. That is, even Shani is in the ninth house, you can actually see that is creating wealth also. So these are some very simple Dhan Yoga examples, which will come back to again. So we'll come back to these examples again in a different way, just so that you can appreciate the yogas differently also, in my opinion. Now, I explained some yoga. Now, Gajakesari yoga is also the another very famously called out yoga in Jyotisha. Especially right now, Jupiter's exalted. A lot of children being born with moon in Cancer is going to be having Gajakesari yoga. So it's a great time period also. So that particular way is great. Now, even if you don't have Gajakesari yoga in a chart, also don't worry. I'll suggest a solution for that. But the other thing is that even by transit also many people can be experiencing Gajakesari yoga also in their chart. So that is also one more thing. So Gajakesari yoga happens if both moon and Jupiter is in Kendra to each other and also plays in Kendra houses. So again, moon and Jupiter here is in Kendra houses in this example. They are also in Kendra to each other also. That is also important requirement in Gajakesari yoga. Normally they say when moon and Jupiter's Kendra to each other, then that is a separate yoga called as Kesari yoga. Kesari translates to lion actually, and Gaja translates to elephant. So Kesari yoga is also very powerful, that the person is like a lion when moon and Jupiter and Kendra to each other. So moon is getting the support of Jupiter, Jupiter is getting the support of moon. So that makes it a very powerful Kesari yoga. But then you have the Gajakesari yoga happens when this particular combination of moon and Jupiter being Kendra to each other is happening in a Kendra house from the ascendant as well. That makes it very, very powerful. So Gajakesari yoga is also very strong yoga to look into. Now we get in the crux of the discussion I wanted to have today. Understanding karma types and remedies. So we understand three types of karma actually. Understanding Prarabdha, Sanchita, and Kriyamani karma, for instance. Prarabdha karma is the karma that is to be experienced in this lifetime. Nothing can change that. You'll have to go through that kind of planetary karma no matter what. That is the definition of Prarabdha karma. Sanchita karma is a karma that is waiting to be expressed in the future. So it is there in a bank account. Your karma bank account is having all the Sanchita karma. Eventually, it will also fructify in your life. Kriyamani karma is a karma that we create in our lifetime using a free will. So you might have had a challenging prarabdha karma. So your karma of your birth chart is very challenging, but then your kriyamani karma, using your free will, you can overcome that karma and actually turn it around also. That is also very much possible without a doubt. So there are certain categories of houses commonly linked with kriyamani karma, certain categories of houses linked with prarabdha karma and all that. So we'll not go into that particular thing right now. And even Sanchita karma can be used, can be identified from the divisional charts like D60 and all that. All that is there. But these three categories of karma exist. And one thing to present this even further, in a mango tree analogy, like if you're looking at a mango tree, nowadays we are getting to eat a lot of mangoes, but the rain season is like making it a mess. So that's fine. Still mangoes are there. So that's great. So I thought it'll be interesting just to understand that. So prarabdha is the fruit that is falling from the tree. The fruit that is falling, which you cannot hold back and so forth, that is prarabdha. That fruit will fall no matter what. So that is prarabdha karma. Sanchita karma is the fruit that is actually growing and will fall in the future. So those green mangoes, which will eventually become yellow and fall, that is going to be Sanchita karma. And Kriyamani karma now is the seed that will grow into a new tree and become fruit. So the fallen fruit, once we eat and the seed is left, you plant that seed now, and then eventually that can become a tree kind of thing. And eventually that can also create you mangoes kind of thing. So this is a very important one. So three categories of karmas exist. And quite often when you are looking at yogas and so forth, the potential of yoga is identified from prarabdha perspective and to a point, sanchita karma perspective. However, kriyamani karma perspective yogas can be fully identified. And not only that, you can apply it much more intelligently also if you understand the kriyamani karma perspective of yoga actually. So that is one thing I wanted to highlight today actually. Let's see. Now, kriyamani karma and directing of free will. Intelligent actions and karma. Truth is that we can modify our pre-existing prarabdha karma and improve how it is handled by using kriyamani karma of free will. How it is handled by using also kriyamani karma and free will. Anytime we are doing remedies, we are activating our kriyamani karma to improve our prarabdha. any remedies we are doing is we are using our free will to improve it actually. Astrologers already, and because of this, so quite often there might be a disconnect between your birth chart and your your current state of karma. So many astrologers have to always have to check how much of a prarabdha from a birth chart has been exhausted already by Kriyamani karma of the native by using a Prashna chart alongside the natal chart. So it is a common technique which many astrologers use. Always look at a Prashna chart along with your natal chart. The Prashna chart will show the current state of your karma, including your Kriyamani karma, or new karmas which you have created in this lifetime as well, which is also equally likely. So it shows that you're, even though you might be born with a birth chart, some karmas would have played out. Your Kriyamani karma, the new karma which you have created in this lifetime, will always be captured using a Prashna chart as well. So both the charts always gives you a lot of clues regarding the state of karma as well. But the fundamental idea here is that, as I said, the Kriyamani karma can be used, your free will can be used to handle your Prarabdha intelligently. Very, very important point. So no matter what Prarabdha you have through your own hard work, karma theory allows you to actually take it forward, bring your life forward no matter what. So this is a very important point. Your free will is a very powerful force when it's utilized intelligently and directed very intelligently as well. Now, this is where, if you have this foundation in mind, rest of the talk will be very easy. Now we are going to look at yogas completely differently. What would a yoga look like when you have Kriyamani karma focus in place? So let's actually look into that. Applying yogas in your lives. Now, this is where you can actually apply all kinds of different yogas in your life to actually obtain results. Now, let's identify that actually. So, using yogas to invite new Graha energy into your life. Yogas can show how exactly Graha energies need to be directed in a chart to achieve specific results. So, we'll talk about that. The planetary placements defining a yoga can also be used independently to invite that yoga energy consciously. So you have a yoga definition. This combination is this planet should be in this house, or these two planets should be linked and all that. Now you already know the grahas involved. You already know the energies that can be used, that can be activated, so that that particular yoga energy can come into life. That is a big thing. No one is utilizing yogas in this particular way. It can be utilized. That's the whole point. Kriyamani karma focus on yogas. 100% you can use your free will to almost apply whatever yogas you want in your life from into your own chart. Even if you do not have that yoga in the chart, activating those planetary placements can still give you eventual results. Now, this is very interesting actually. So I remember one astrologer, a friend of mine actually mentioning, he actually mentioned that I think it was Simon Chokosky also, and probably someone else also. Some tantric basically was told, I have a debilitated Jupiter. A native told a tantric, I have a debilitated Jupiter in my chart. The tantric basically said, that is fine. Live your life as if your Jupiter is exalted. And then if you live your life as if your Jupiter is exalted, then you will see everything else, because you're focusing on that exalted Jupiter. Your debilitated Jupiter kind of qualities will eventually move towards your exalted Jupiter kind of positions. Now, of course, arguments can be there. I can understand a lot of astrologers will be already thinking, I thought karma is defined and all that. How can we apply this thing? 100% all that thoughts are there, but just go with this thought process, right? So very simple. Look into that. Definitely, if a tantric is advising that, he has experienced that, or he has found that working for him also. So very important kind of thing to recognize actually. So very important actually. So if you do not have the yoga in the chart, activating those planetary placements consciously can give you eventual results. Now, of course, that Graha might be placed in a particular house in your chart. It will definitely take time for you to develop those new energies in your life. No doubt about that. However, it can grow. That is the whole point. You can change your karma in a much more conscious way as well. So then yoga, something which I mentioned before, any link between the 159 houses and the second and 11th house or the house lords, as I mentioned before. Let's see how that can be applied into your life if you do not have these yogas in your chart actually. So again, remember the first lord, fifth lord, and the ninth lord, and the second lord and 11th lord. Activating these grahas can bring about wealth easily since they rule the wealth houses in your chart. So first of all, you can activate these grahas very consciously, separately also. Be very conscious about these grahas and so forth. These whatever planets are lording these houses, the whatever planet is ruling these houses, that will actually be very strong for you to activate wealth in your chart. Whatever is the which I'll be talking about very soon actually, but just keep this in mind. Now, what does this look like for a Dhan Yoga combination? So Dhan Yoga is 159 lords and the 211 lords in the second house. Let's examine the Dhan Yoga in the second house kind of thing, example which I mentioned for Aries ascendant. So say Sun in the second is the fifth lord in the second house for an Aries ascendant. That is a Dhan Yoga combination. Let's interpret that yoga differently now. Sun is linked with Shiva. Second house is linked with food. If Shiva is offered food regularly, daily, or on Sundays, eventually Dhan Yoga like results can manifest. So it's basically you are converting the planetary combinations which will lead to a particular yoga results into remedies actually. That is essentially what we are doing here. And most of the time, you have to bring in a Devata energy. That's the foundation of this thinking as well. Because again, Sun is Shiva. So you are now Sun in the second house of Dhan Yoga combination. Second house, the house of food. Sun is Shiva. So if Shiva is given food regularly, and that too Sun category of food, it can be like atta, or it can be like honey, or it can be jaggery, and all those kind of categories of Sun. Definitely, if that is offered to Shiva on daily or on Sundays, eventually that you will begin to see Dhan Yoga like results can manifesting very, very easily. So that is a very simple example and so forth. Now, definitely you can do all other combinations like 159 lords or the 11th lord in the second house. If Shani is the 11th lord in the second house, creating wealth, offer Hanumanji food on Saturdays, offer Hanumanji oil on Saturdays, or offer, any kind of kheer kind of thing going on that front. If you have ninth lord, Jupiter is the ninth lord in second house. Offer Vishnu any kind of food which is basically Jupiterian food, like bananas kind of thing, then that is also going to activate results. So, and now Venus itself is the second lord in second house, very strong Dhan Yoga placement. Well, offer Lakshmi, offer Devi any kind of food. Now, Devi, if you offer food on 5 days, it is of course very auspicious. Any kind of kheer and all that, whatever it's possible, or any kind of fruits also. Just offering that on Fridays itself will activate well. And more importantly, like a moon is getting exalted. Now, you're not going that far, but anyway, a moon option is always there to give food. Rice-based food is always recommended from a wealth perspective also, because moon is getting exalted in the second house. So kheer kind of thing is recommended for Devi kind of thing, because some moon is also there. So Dhan Yoga, so what has happened here is that we know the Dhan Yoga combinations, we know the remedies that can be derived from it, and connecting that with the Devata, immediately you are attracting that yoga kind of energy into your life. That is the logic here actually. Now again, the taking this whole logic forward, there's one more way how you can do about this, simply by combining using it colors actually. So we know different grahas are linked with different colors. Sun is crimson red, moon is white, Mars is red, Mercury is green, yellow is the color for Jupiter, Venus is creamy white, Shani is blue, black kind of thing, and Rahu is purple and black and brown and all that, and Ketu is gray. And we know the Rashis here, which is linked with, distributed with various body parts here also. So you have Aries' head and Taurus' face and neck, and Gemini's hands and shoulders, and Cancer is chest, Leo's heart again, Virgo is intestine region, Libra is your hips, Scorpio is your reproductive region, Sagittarius is thighs, and Capricorn is knees, Aquarius is ankles, calves kind of thing, and Pisces is finally your feet. Now these are the Rashis actually. So what happens if we create Dhan Yoga like combinations on very specific body parts? So what does that look like? Let's see. So for instance, we have Sun here, Sun in the second house. Fifth lord in the second house is basically creating red color in your second house of face and neck. So if you utilize red color in your face, you're using red jewelry, you're using ruby earrings, you're using a red glasses, or you're using even anything red in your second house of face. Can be a earring, can be gold in the second house, which is the nose ring in your face. All that can lead to wealth actually. Fifth lord and second house can mean many things. Now you might be wearing a mask actually because of COVID and all that, or well, make that into a red mask. See what happens, right? So things like that. It's a very interesting kind of thing which you can play. Now, say Sun in the fifth lord in the 11th house. That is also Dhan Yoga, which I explained before. What happens if you wear red color socks, for instance, for your ankles? That is you are inviting that red color into your 11th house of ankles actually. That is almost equivalent to creating a Dhan Yoga like effects over time. Now, I actually tested this out actually. I had someone, they were Leo ascendant with Mercury in the 11th house with Sun. So I encourage them to wear Mercury is in the 11th house of Gemini with Sun. So I encourage them to wear green socks for 2 weeks straight. So that Mercury in the 11th house effect is now coming alive for them. But after 2 weeks, they literally got like a language project to make some money. So, Mercury kind of way of making money came their way. So it actually works. So when you are conscious of the pants you're wearing, the color of the pants you're wearing, color of the socks and all that, that can give you some results. Of course, the ties, and 11th lord is in 9th house of ties, which is in Sagittarius. So Shani in Sagittarius is also Dhan Yoga combination. If you're wearing blue color on your thighs, that can be beneficial actually. So you're wearing blue color shorts, you're wearing blue color pants and so forth, blue color bottoms kind of thing. Eventually that can also activate results like this actually. So it's a interesting thing actually. So something to worthwhile, something a different way of looking into yogas actually. You're making it a yoga, you're making that yoga come alive actually in a different way. Now, another combination which I mentioned briefly was the Jupiter being the ninth lord in the fifth house. Definitely, that is also if you have Jupiter and energy in the fifth house region. So that can be a gold, that can be Vishnu locket, that can be yellow color in your fifth house. If you're wearing a yellow kind of shirt, for instance, or a yellow t-shirt kind of thing, that can also activate wealth kind of results from that perspective. So there's also you can wear yellow sapphire as a pendant also, which is reaching all the way to your heart region. All that kind of thing also can be done. So there are many ways how you can activate this, but color plus body part is the easiest way how you can apply. So this is something to look into as a remedy perspective also to apply yogas for lack of a better word. Now, Gajakesari yoga is something I mentioned. So I mentioned for Aries ascendant, Moon Jupiter in fourth house creates Gajakesari yoga. So that is one aspect. Now let's see if you apply that kind of thing. What if Kir or Moon is offered to Vishnu or Jupiter on every Thursdays in one's own home? Moon is rice, Jupiter is Vishnu. Gajakesari like energies are now created in the home now. So eventually you will see things are improving in the home. Everyone in the home, there is a unity in family in the home. There is definitely like children are doing quite well. And eventually you will begin to see wealth is also coming. Both lion and elephant-like results are coming into the home. Or banana, Jupiter's energy is offered to Mata, to Devi on every Thursdays. Again, Gajakesari like energies are created actually. And or both kheer and banana to both Devi and Vishnu. To both on both Mondays and Thursday, you're giving something to Devi, something to Vishnu. You're just developing that energy. Definitely Gajakesari like results will eventually grow with time. Gajakesari yoga like results can build up over a period of time with these kind of offerings. So that is the logic, I think. So now the floor is kind of open. Whatever yogas you want, you can do. That's the whole point, actually. So I just demonstrated here with the two yogas like Dhan Yogas and Gajakesari Yoga. So that is the whole point, actually. So this can be done. This kind of thought process can be done consciously. Now, so many people will be disappointed. I don't have this particular yoga in my life. How can I bring about that particular result? This is how you can do that, actually. Key point here is that you usually have to bring in a remedy of a devata. When you bring in any kind of devata level thing to this particular playing the yoga, that makes it much more stronger actually. So concluding thoughts, well, more like a thought actually. Yogas can be brought to life and into our reality through our conscious actions. So that is what we are doing. So anytime we are breaking down the yogas, we identify the action that you can use a Kriyamani karma. You are using your free will to invite those energies by inviting those, directing those actions in the same manner which those grahas will be creating those yogas, actually very consciously kind of thing as well. So this is what I had to share. Yeah, okay. And thanks to Dr. Pai, Kapilraj and Pai team and all that. The UG also included and clients, teachers and students kind of thing going on actually. So this is what I had to share actually. Dr. Pai and Aditya, any thoughts on what I shared?
Interesting. I'm saying, Sandeep ji.
Yeah.
I was thinking about when you talk about Dhana Yoga, there can be different types of Dhan.
Yeah.
Material, knowledge is also Dhan, Putra Dhan. There are so many Dhans we talk, Lakshmi Dhan and all, different types of Dhan. A person can have lot of material, but may not be other types of Dhan. For example, may have a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge. That's also done, but
Yeah.
but not materialistic. Then how do we see that in the chart? What specific combinations are there? So I know it may be a future, it's a research
Yeah.
topic to discuss more in detail, but those types of done and different types, how to see that?
No,
How
that's
the
it.
person have
Yeah, that's an
yeah.
interesting topic. So definitely when you're looking at All Grahas have their own 2, 3 levels of Dhan, without a doubt. There is the knowledge of wealth, there is the knowledge of material wealth, and so for knowledge of relationships or family wealth, as it's called. So that is definitely possible with all the Grahas for sure. Now, usually, in my opinion, normally they usually encourage the Sattvic guna kind of thing with the Sattvic Grahas, right? So Moon, Jupiter, Sun are the Sattvic Grahas. You have the Venus and Mercury are the Rajasic kind of Grahas. And then you have the Shani, Mars as the Tamasic Grahas. And of course, Rahu, Ketu as well, Tamasic Grahas. So one argument can be said that when the Tamasic Grahas are involved, you can definitely claim material wealth. So Shani, Venus more likely to have material wealth. Venus is Rajoguna, of course, but then Shani is definitely there. So definitely material wealth and the Rajoguna aspect, business connections and connections can be claimed. If you have like some Sattvic Grahas involved in some of these combinations, so Sun in the second house, could be that person is very Sattvic doing mantras, that mantra knowledge is coming is the claim that can be said. So that could be one
Especially
way.
Jupiter, yeah, Jupiter
Jupiter.
can be on.
Exactly. So Jupiter being a Sattvic Grahas again in the second house, so definitely that wealth of knowledge creating wealth. So maybe that person is teaching, or the person is an astrologer giving advice to others, which is inviting wealth energy. Anything you would like to add, Dr. Pai, on this question which Aditya said? Yes.
Yeah, I think this is a fantastic way to learn Jyotish. I will give a different way that I learned yogas and the secret here. You answer, I will ask questions. This is like
Yeah.
a classroom.
Sure. Yes.
So there is, okay. In the system of learning yogas, I mean, the way that I learned is I put the grahas into two baskets. One basket holds all the grahas which belong to Vishnu and Vishnu's weapons. And the other basket is Shiva Parivar. Okay. Now let us go and let us map this, what I'm trying to say here. So there are two buckets. So certain grahas are going into the bucket of Shiva Parivar, which means Shiva's family. And a certain bracket going, the other bucket is Vishnu's weapons. So let me tell you, start with Shiva Parivar, which is very common. So which planet represents Shiva, both in Parashara and Jaimini?
Sun probably, yes.
Sun. Which represents Parvati, Shakti?
Moon.
Which planet? Moon. So there is no brainer here. Okay, Sun, Moon. The next which comes in the Parivar is Mars, which is Kartikeya.
Right.
After that, the next one who comes in the Parivar is Ketu, who is Ganesha.
Right.
One missing person is there, who is the daughter of Shiva and Parvati, who is elder even to Ganesha and to Kartikeya. Do you know who's that? They have a child before. It's not spoken about very commonly.
Yeah, not so sure. But they do claim many other deities. Maybe Kali is, could be a possibility. Or
No, it is Tripura Sundari, Bala Tripura Sundari.
yeah, Bala is a goddess. That's correct. Yeah.
Bala. See now, if you see this Shiva Parivar, Shiva and Parvati, their first thing, how did Bala Tripura Sundari come about? It is spoken in some of the Puranas, not all Puranas, where Parvati was feeling very lonely because Shiva is always in deep contemplation and meditation. He's in Samadhi most of the times. So it is a matriarchal society because Shiva is not a patriarch who is providing and putting food on the table. So in a matriarchal society, she was feeling very lonely because once she gives the duties to the Ganas, they keep doing their thing. She's lonely. So she felt a desire to speak with somebody, and she was sitting under a tree which is called the Ashoka tree. Ashoka means sorrowless tree. Shok means sorrow. Ashok means no sorrow. Because she was sitting there and she was, feeling the need for a friend, suddenly from the Ashoka tree emerged Bala Tripura Sundari. She's also called as Ashoka Sundari. Ashoka Sundari. So she is there first manifestation of Shakti. Because she's come from the tree, she represents the trees. Do you know, even before any life forms came onto the earth plane, the first life form was the tree, which means plants, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Starting from algae, which is like seaweeds and other things in the sea before the land, and then land they came. After that, water creatures and living creatures. So if you see, the next is Ganapati, Ganesha, whose mount is a rat, which is a land animal. And you see Kartikeya Mars, his Vahana is a bird which can fly. So you have covered all the three with the Shiva Parivar: Sun, Moon, Jupiter, Ketu, Mangal. So this is the Shiva Parivar. Is this understood? Now you will see the Shiva Parivar's planets in the natural zodiac are the owners of the Dharma Trikona and the Moksha Trikona. Sun, 5th house lord.
Yeah.
Moon, natural 4th house Cancer.
Yeah.
Jupiter, natural 9th house and 12th house.
Right.
9th house is a 159.
Right.
4, 8, 12 is your Moksha.
Right.
Ketu is a co-lord with Mars.
Yeah.
Which is the 8th house lord.
Yeah.
And Mars is also the 1st house lord of Aries.
Yeah.
So are you seeing that the Shiva Parivar controls the Dharma Trikona 159? 1 is Mars, Aries. 5 is Sun. 9 is Jupiter.
Yeah.
4 is Moon. 8 is Mars and Ketu. And 12 is Jupiter again. Understood? This is clear?
Yeah.
Now let's look at Vishnu's weapons. He holds a Padma in his hand. Padma is Venus, which is 2 and 7, which is Libra is 7 and 2 is Taurus, owner. Saturn is Gadha, that is holding in his hand the mace. Saturn rules 10 and 11, Capricorn and Aquarius. Mercury rules 3rd and 6th, which is the Shankha of Vishnu. And Rahu is the co-lord of the 11th, which is the Sudarshana. That is why the connection you see, Rahu's head was severed with the Sudarshana chakra.
That's correct. Yes.
So on one side we have the animate family of Shiva, and the other side is Vishnu's, the 4 Sankha Chakra, Gada, Padma. Now you see Mercury 3-6, Venus 2-7, Saturn 10-11 and Rahu 11. So they control the Artha Trikona 2-6-10 and the Kama Trikona 3-7-11. Am I correct?
Yes.
3 is Mercury.
Yeah.
7 is Venus. 11 is Saturn. 2 is Venus. 6 is Mercury. Okay, and 10 is Saturn. Is this understood what I'm trying to build here?
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Now, in the bhavas or rashis, we know certain rashis are called as masculine or odd rashis, and certain rashis are called as feminine and even rashis. This is common.
Yes.
So what are odd? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. These are odd. So count 1, 3, 5. They are all the 1, 3. 1 is Shiva. 3 is Vishnu. 5 is Shiva. 7 is Vishnu. 9 is Shiva. 11 is Vishnu. Clear?
Yeah.
Artha, 2, 6, 10. All are Lakshmi. They're even. And 4, 8, 12. All water signs are Parvati or Shakti, Durga, whatever you call it. Because she controls 4, 8, 12. So are you seeing a system? And you will see the yogas are always created. Dharma is mapped to Kama. Artha is mapped to Moksha. What I'm trying to say? Let us say Aries is the first sign. It is Dharma. What is the opposite sign to it?
Kama, yes.
7. Kama.
Yeah.
If 4 is Cancer and it is Moksha, opposite to is,
Artha.
Artha.
Yeah.
Are you getting what I'm trying to build up here? So that means Dharma is married to Kama and Artha is married to Moksha.
Yeah.
They're like counterparts. So if you have a problem, this is the basic crux of the yoga's theory that you find is if you have a problem with the planets and the Rashis which are controlled by Shiva Parivar, then to find solutions you go to Vishnu Parivar.
Right.
Which means you go to Vishnu's temples to solve the problems of the planets and the Rashis which are controlled by 159 Dharma Trikona, fire signs under Shiva. 4812 water Trikona, Jala Trikona, that is under Parvati, Shakti. 2610 Artha Trikona, Lakshmi. 3711 is Kama Trikona, our desires and manifestation of desires is Vishnu. So if you have, what is yogas? Yogas are nothing but this is the map. The mapping is if you find that there is a challenge with the Grahas and the Rashis owned by the Shiva Parivar, then go to Vishnu temple to resolve it. Because it is a yoga. Because Dharma is from the bucket of Shiva Parivar, while Kama, which is the map opposite to it, is coming from Vishnu's weapons in his hand. Artha is mapped to Moksha. Opposite to every Artha house is a Moksha house. So if Artha is Vishnu's weapons, then you go to the Moksha Parvati. So go to Shakti temples. So today I'm giving you one of the biggest clues. If you have problems with Artha, which means wealth or a meaningful life, then go to Parvati temples, Shakti Pitas. If you have a problem that you're not finding love, then go to Shiva temples for finding love. Why? Because that is Dharma Trikona partnership. With Kama, if you want to find Kama, you don't have Kama, which means you're not having somebody that you like, you love, compassion. Then go to Dharma, fire signs will give you that answer, which means Shiva temples. Many a times offering, then you need to know what to offer. If you are looking for bringing some kind of unification with Mercury's energy you want to cure, then offer Shiva Belpatra, green color. If you want to heal the Jupiter in your thing, then you go to a Shiva temple because you want to heal that, offer ghee as a abhishekam. If you want to heal the Mars in your chart, then go to, if the remedy is in Shiva temple, go to Shiva temple, offer honey to Shiva. Okay, if you have Venus is the problem and Shiva is the cure, then go to Shiva temple, offer yogurt, white dahi, curd. Isn't it fascinating?
Yeah.
Just by knowing this technology, that is yoga. So what you have explained completely maps with this system.
Yeah.
And now you understand, you don't even need to know. If you know what is Vishnu and what is Shiva, and you will know the entire thing comes from this. Always problem with Shiva Parivar, which means if there is problem with the Sun, Moon, Mars, Rahu, Mars, Ketu and Jupiter, go to Vishnu temples. If the problem that you are facing is Saturn, Venus, Mercury and Rahu, go to Shiva temples.
Interesting.
Even within Shiva, you can go to either Parvati, Shakti Pitas, or you can go to Jyotirlingas for Shiva.
Yeah.
Similarly, you can go to places where there is Vishnu temples, where there is Shri Devi and Bhudevi.
Right.
So Venus is, if it is Shri Devi, right?
Yeah.
So then your Saturn becomes the Bhudevi, and Mercury is the Vishnu in between.
Yeah. So it's
Anyway, I thought, is this something which is fascinating?
no, it's a very fascinating, Dr. Pai. It's very deep and profound also. So I think what you mentioned was that, first of all, you are mentioning that if you have Vishnu problem, go to a Shiva temple. And definitely if you have a Shiva
Shiva temple means Shiva and Parvati.
yeah, Shiva and
If you
Parvati.
have Shiva, Shiva's planets and their Rashis are creating, go to Vishnu and Lakshmi.
Vishnu and Lakshmi, yeah, that's correct. Interesting. So here, so say someone is having problem with a Leo Rashi, with children kind of thing, then they'll have to go to a Vishnu temple also from that perspective.
Correct.
Interesting. And
Because Vishnu and Shiva are the two sides of the same coin. There is no Hanuman without Sri Rama, and there is no Sri Rama without Hanuman.
right.
Hanuman is a Shiva Amsha,
Yeah.
and Sri Rama is a Vishnu Amsha.
Right.
Are you saying they are the same things? You are not saying that, oh, I am a Shaivite or a Vaishnavite. Sri Rama prays to Lord Shiva,
Yeah.
and Shiva prays to Sri Rama.
Right.
It doesn't mean with praying. They're not praying. They're meditating upon the supremeness of helping them to complete. The completion is a coin cannot be complete without the two sides. Similarly, Shiv and Vishnu are the same. Nobody is higher, nobody is lower. But you need to complete them with, understanding this logic.
Yeah, that's
So,
very fascinating. Yes.
even signs, odd signs.
Yeah.
Even signs is either Lakshmi or Parvati.
Yeah.
Even signs 2, 6, 10, Artha Trikona is Lakshmi. 4, 8, 12, Moksha Trikona, Shakti Pitas, Parvati.
Right.
1, 5, 9, Shiva and his performance. And 3, 7, 11, Vishnu.
Fascinating.
So that's why you see, if you know, Dharma burned down Kama. What is Dharma? Shiva, Rudra opened his third eye, and Manmatha, Cupid, was burned down because they are opposite to each other.
That's correct. Yes.
For every Dharma house, opposite is Kama house.
Yeah.
For every Artha house, there is opposite is Moksha house.
Yeah. No, this is great, Dr. Pai. I think this is a great thing. So now if you wanted more money, second house kind of thing to improve, definitely go to Shakti kind of thing. If you wanted moksha, definitely Lakshmi will help out also in that particular way.
And then the planet which is sitting, that your logic, whatever you explained,
Yeah.
it perfectly fits into this, which means you take bananas.
Yeah.
Now you can take the color of the fruit also, Santip.
Right.
Like
Yes. Yes.
you have given the sun, moon, Mars, whatever.
Yeah.
If I have to give Jupiter's energy, I give 5 yellow bananas.
Yeah. Interesting. Yes.
If I have to get the power of sun, I give oranges to the deity. If I have to give the red, which is Mars, then I give a pomegranate fruit or I give a red apple.
Right.
If it is Mercury, I can give green grapes, green apple, or I can offer a leaf. Like for Vishnu, you offer Tulsi. For Shiva, you offer Belpatra, Bilva.
Yeah.
Why can't you give the color of the fruit?
Yes.
What is the fruit? Fruit is already the flower becoming, the seed becoming the flower and the flower becoming the fruit, which is the final. We are offering the deity the fruit. Why? Because give me the fruits of my karmas back, whatever is there.
Right.
You offer a flower, the same thing. Akash Tattva, you get that back. So make my life very fragrant and colorful. Offer a flower. Give me the fruits that I'm waiting for so long, which is not manifesting. Give a fruit.
Right.
So when you go to meet a guru, do you take flowers or you take fruits? What does the guru do? He takes the basket of fruits, he
Yeah.
blesses one fruit, and he gives you one fruit back.
Yeah.
That means you deserve whatever your fruits are. This is a blessed fruit I'm giving you back.
Yeah. No, that is great, Dr. Python. The color of fruits is a very powerful way for sure. The Venus
The
white.
color of flowers also.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, color of flowers also. Yes.
Red color flower given to Kali.
Yeah.
Hibiscus flower especially.
Yeah.
Jasmine flowers, Parijata, white color flowers given to Devi Shakti.
Yeah.
So you can do a lot of balancing with flowers, fruits, plants.
Yeah.
So if you have a problem with your future, go to Kartikeya because birds represent the future. They can fly.
Right.
If you have a problem with the present, go to Lord Ganapati because the rat is a land animal. It is connected to the earth. We are all connected to the earth. If you want to go to heal something about the past, go to the trees. Saturdays, go to a people tree, go to the banyan tree, offer,
Yeah.
because past is what? Your ancestors. So what is our ancestral tree? Banyan tree.
Yeah.
How you resolve, because what is trees? They have been there even before we are all here.
Yeah.
That is Ashoka Sundari.
Yeah.
So herbal remedies will help you for past, healing the past. For the present, feed the land animals, cow, ants, other things which are on the ground.
Yeah.
And if you want to heal your future, feed the birds.
Right.
So Kartikeya's Vahana is the bird,
Yeah.
peacock. Ganapati's Vahana is about present, which is the earth animal,
Yeah.
rat. And Ashoka Sundari is the tree.
Right.
So 3 remedies.
Yeah.
With the yogas.
Yeah.
So do you need to go to the tree? Do you need to feed the land animals, or do you need to feed the birds?
Yeah.
If you want to heal the past also, you can feed the animals in the water, because which is the first avatar of Vishnu?
Avatar, yes.
Meena Avatara, Matsya Avatara.
Yeah.
So life began in water.
Yeah.
Which means even plants began in water as seaweeds.
Yeah.
And life began in water. So if you want to heal your past, take care of the sea creatures and the trees and the plants.
Interesting. Yeah.
That is why nakshatras have a bird associated with it,
Yeah.
a tree associated with it, and also the nakshatra is associated with the land animal.
Yeah.
Which is the yoni.
Right.
All the yonis are land animals.
Yeah.
But there is a bird also associated with every nakshatra.
Yes.
There is a tree also associated with every nakshatra. So
Yeah.
that means nakshatras are the way to heal the past, present, and future.
Yeah. Definitely.
Anyway, that was my thought. I don't know if that has been understood,
Well, it's
and this can
pretty.
be used as a.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Shiva category and Vishnu category, once you identify that, so here then would be that whatever houses you need to improve upon, definitely go to the Devata link with the opposite house kind of thing. So that's very direct. So similar to that. So I
Because
think,
the concept of Jyotish is, if one is the lock and that is the problem, and that doors are closed for you, you need to find a key in the 7th bhava from there.
yeah.
So the logic is, if one is the cup, the other is the saucer.
Yeah.
If one is the lock, the other is the key, which is 1-7 axis.
Right. So let's say, so for fire resistant natives, they will find some solutions in Vayu,
Air.
Tattva, air.
Exactly.
And so
Exactly.
for, vice versa also. So it will be for Shiva, they'll have to go towards Vishnu kind of thing from that perspective. And then Jala Tattva natives, Jala Asana natives will have to find a solution in in Lakshmi kind of thing, because that's the Earth
Correct.
Tattva kind of a deity
Correct.
thing going on.
Correct. Lakshmi is also our earth, Mother Earth is also kind of Lakshmi only. She's
Right.
the abundant producer of abundance for us.
Right. So it's more like Bhudevi kind of a thing going on with that, right?
Exactly.
Oh, that's fascinating, Dr. Pai. I think that's a lot to think about. But in general, definitely combining that, I think pretty sure if you add any yoga thing to that, pretty sure. I think it'll be interesting also to look at yogas from the perspective of the Shiva Vishnu categories also. Like how are you?
Have you heard this anywhere? Any
Well,
book talk
first
about
time
this
hearing
concept?
that. No, I think the Vishnu's weapons and the Devi being as you said, and then Shiva and his Parivar kind of thing perfectly matching the Moksha and
Because
Dharma thing.
Shiva and Parivar is the animate, which is the ones that we all keep the Shiva Parivar
Yeah,
as a place to aspire to be.
yeah,
And who protects us to sustain this? We need Vishnu's 4 weapons: Shankha, Chakra,
that,
Gada, Padma.
that's nice. Yeah. Yeah, so this is great, Dr. Bhai. I think thank you for sharing that. I think this is a great point. So I think this is a perfect addition to what I started also in terms of a union kind of thing between Shiva and Vishnu kind of thing. Only definitely people who understand these concepts will not see any. They'll see Shiva as a function, Vishnu as a function. They'll try to connect both of that energy thing. That union between Shiva and Vishnu
So
is
in this, there is no Brahma
yeah,
is not there. So that's why there is no worship for Brahma, because there are only 2 categories.
yeah,
That's why there are no temples for Brahma.
yeah. Very rare.
Because you either have a problem which the Shiva category, go to Vishnu. Vishnu's category, come to Shiva.
Right. Dharma also creates karma, so you don't want to create new karma. So that is the other aspect. So it makes sense in that regard also. So that's great, Dr. Bhai. I think this is great. So I think this is a perfect point. I think Aditya is just back after seeing.
Now did you
Yeah,
also understand from
yeah,
this concept only? I will give you one more thing.
sure.
What is Tirupati?
But it's Jupiter, right?
It is Vishnu's category.
Yeah.
So 7 hills.
Hmm.
I told you number 7 belongs to,
Tirupati.
7 is Venus,
Venus.
right?
Okay.
Who is he with? Shri Devi, Bhudevi.
Yeah.
Who is on the 7th hill? Adi Varaha Swami. Bhu Varaha Swami is also there, Rahu.
Hmm. Yeah.
The local people, Aditya can tell you he's from that place, he will know, they visit on Saturday.
Hmm.
So if he's Vishnu, then they should go on Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Why are they going on Saturday? Because he can remove the Saturnian influence.
Hmm.
So Saturday, you are going there, and he's done Kalyanotsavam is also being done with Sri Devi and Bhudevi. Mercury is Prithvi Tattva, Bhudevi. Venus is Shri Tattva, which is Lakshmi.
The same thing happens in Simachalam also. Simachalam also, it's Varaha Narasimha Swami.
Now do you
Saturdays.
see? Now do
Saturdays.
you see?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, so that means people knew this technology, it has not been taught to us. It
Yeah.
is there embedded in Jyotish.
Yeah.
So as long as you know this categorization, you will never have a problem with learning Jyotish, and you will not have a problem doing the yogas.
Yeah. No, that's
Okay.
fascinating.
Wherever there is Shiva
Yeah.
temples, there has to be a water body nearby, a river flowing,
Yeah.
which is there. Why? Because there is Ganga. So wherever there is sun, there has to be moon.
Yeah.
The water flowing there is a river, or a spring water, river water, whatever is there. And Shiva Parivar is always there.
Yeah.
There is every temple you go to, Shiva temples in South India, there is a Sthala Vriksha, which is the temple has a tree.
Yeah.
That is like Bala Tripura Sundari.
Right.
And there will definitely be Kartikeya and Ganapatis also will be there in that temple.
Yeah.
Because they all have to be worshipped together.
Yeah.
The tree is worshipped as Tripura Sundari, but nobody knew why you are worshipping the tree.
Right.
That's why you visit people tree on a Saturday.
Right.
What is visiting people tree on a Saturday? That is the remedy for, Saturday is Vishnu. You're doing the remedy of Jupiter.
Yeah.
Jupiter is tree, I told you.
Yeah.
Why Jupiter is tree? Jupiter takes 1 year to go every Rashi. Do you know there are annular links? How do you know the age of the tree? When you cut the tree, you will see the stump, right? How
Yeah.
many annular rings are there? That is the age of the tree. That means they are connected to Jupiter's energy.
Interesting. Yes.
They are the annular rings.
They also give oxygen, prana.
Yes, they give a prana, Shakti,
Yoga.
consciousness,
Yeah.
oxygen. So if you use this logic, simple to learn. Otherwise, you will always complicate yogas.
Yeah.
By knowing this yoga, so I don't remember any of the yoga names. I
Yeah.
use this technology to create my own yogas.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is called, but this is how.
No, this is great, Dr. Pai. I think the category of connecting the categories of houses and then connecting both to different categories to identify those houses is very important also. I think that will balance both the yogas involved in that particular way. And more importantly, the energies can be balanced also in that particular way, which is good. And
So what you said is the same technology.
yeah,
159 is Shiva,
yes,
and Dhana Yogas are created by the bucket from Vishnu, 2 and 11,
yeah,
which comes from 2, 6, 10,
yeah,
Artha, 3, 7, 11. So finding 2 and 11 in 159
yeah,
is the connection between Dharma with Kama,
yeah,
Artha with Moksha.
exactly. Yeah, that's pretty. That's a great point, Dr. Pai. I think that's a great point because that I think you are finding that union between that particular category of houses in many powerful is very powerful in many ways to create whatever yogas you want also. So definitely visiting the Shiva temple, Vishnu temples in a manner as you said helps out a lot also. Like Vishnu temple on Saturdays has its own unique thing. People usually go to Vishnu temple on Wednesdays and Thursdays actually to activate that energy further. But the moment you combine that on Saturdays, now you're getting additional thing. Similarly, like people go to Shiva temple on Sundays or Mondays kind of thing. But the moment you combine that with another day, you'll get something else also, which is an interesting point also. Very important. I think that's also a big thing without doubt, Dr. Pai. Yeah.
If you can now start using this with the Pai Paddhati concepts that we learned, you will be really having fantastic insights. The same concepts that we have learned, start applying these on top of the nakshatra.
So like let's say Jupiter is going to be in Pushya. How would you apply this concept for Pushya?
We'll do another video on that because otherwise, if I start speaking right now, people will be confused. Now,
Right,
this
right,
is
Okay.
let's begin this process and then we can see how
Great.
we can
That'll be amazing.
do that combination in another
Yeah.
separate lesson. So we can give this as a link for people
Yeah.
to understand those concepts better.
Great, Dr. Pai. Great.
But think about it.
Yeah.
If this is a simple concept, why can't you extend this?
Yeah. Definitely, I think that'll be great. So I think there's a great
Aditya, any comments on this? Did you understand the whole concept? What is we talking about?
You are muted,
You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute.
I understood what you were saying. Then I was few minutes away to see the combination of Jupiter and Venus in the sky. Otherwise, it would have this set,
Okay, Jupiter and Venus. Venus, as we said, is Lakshmi.
Yeah.
Jupiter is coming from this Shiva side.
So again, Vishnu and Shiva in the sky.
Vishnu and Shiva in the star when they're coming together. Yes, exactly.
That's it. I did go there, saw it in the sky.
Okay, I'll explain this to you just before we close. Why you go to Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple. What you will see there? You will see Vishnu giving the hand of his sister Meenakshi to Shiva, who is called as Sundareshwar. So if you understand, even Lakshmi and Shiva are worshipped in the night, not during the day.
Yeah.
Diwali is we celebrate Lakshmi's coming in the night.
Yeah.
On the darkest night of the year, which is Diwali, which is the Amavasya. Right? So that means Vishnu and Parvati are brothers and sisters. That's why he is becoming the brother and is handing it over. So what is happening if Parvati is day and her brother is Vishnu of the day, Shiva is of the night and Lakshmi is of the night. So night goddess Lakshmi is married to the day god Vishnu and the day goddess Parvati is married to the night god Shiva.
Right.
The same concept, 1 and 7.
Yeah. No, this is great.
So ultimately it is marriage. That's all. That is yoga.
That is yoga.
What is a yoga? Marriage is a yoga.
Exactly correct.
So the day when somebody gets married, there is a yoga which is being formed.
Yes.
Is that yoga good or bad? Created by the planets
Yeah.
for that marriage. It is like marrying day to night and night to day. Anyway, great. I think we extended more than what we wanted to do. We
Yeah,
thought
no,
we'll
I
do it
think
in
that,
20
yeah,
minutes.
but I think it's a lot of good content, a lot of good ideas also to work with, and remedies also from that perspective. Great. So to understand yogas in the manner Dr. Pai mentioned, understand yogas the manner I said, all both are equally complementary actually. So that's a great idea also. Very great set of ideas to for people to try. A lot more remedies actually. So great. So that's it. I think this is a great point to end the video. We'll definitely will be producing other videos in the future. I think Dr. Pai's video will be coming very soon also. That'll be great. Great. So we'll end the session. Thank you, Dr. Pai. Thank you, Aditya, also
Thank
for
you.
part of this video. Great. Namaste.